Let's be clear that the only reason there's a massive discussion around Bill and Melinda Gates' divorce is one of the 5 reasons why many marriages continue to fail, as we're about to highlight right now. So pay attention. But before we dive into that, let's do a quick refresh on who they are and why this is a big deal. In April 1975, Bill Gates co-created one of the biggest corporations of the 21st century along with Paul Allen, Microsoft Corporation. That company is a massive force behind personal computing as we all know it today. My name is Lola and I am the co-author of the book Get My Marriage Back with My Husband Ola, which you can download for free at www.getmymarriageback.com. You'll also be able to book a coaching session after downloading the book if you're struggling in a relationship or a marriage.
This is Ola. In 1997, I personally discovered personal computers. I was so excited and decided to change my career plans at the time from architecture to computer engineering. This is not about me. 3 years before that, 1994, on the other side of the hemisphere, Bill Gates married one of Microsoft's employees, Melinda French at the time. Both of them are responsible for probably the biggest private charity organization in the world, which owns nearly $50 billion in assets, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. There is a lot of controversy around the activities of Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation in recent times with respect to the pandemic that hit the world in 2020 and some comments by Bill Gates with respect to population growth rate control. It was basically a confusion between a decreasing population and population growth due to the mortality rate of children as picked up from a TED talk he did back around 2010. It was a comprehension issue as usual. Many people are trying to connect dots purely based on conspiracy theories because people always try to pull answers from thin air due to fear of the unknown. But we don't know what we don't know, especially with no details revealed in court documents on why they're filing the divorce. With respect to reasons, the filing referenced their separation contract, which was not available publicly at press time. What we do know is that they both acknowledged in their statement that the marriage was blessed with 3 children together, Jennifer, Rory, and Phoebe. At the time of the announcement of their divorce on May 3rd, 2021, the youngest of their children was 18 years old and they had been married for 27 years. So why is Melinda Gates filing for divorce 27 years later?
As to be expected, there is a lot of speculation from money and power to conspiracy theory to Bill's personality to the pandemic virus really being a mere bacteria and all sorts of nonsense. But we believe more so in the core reasons around the simple fact that they are just humans, just like the rest of us, but obviously within the confinement of a different context. That context being their economic and social status in society. We believe somebody lost attraction and interest for the other romantically long before the public announcement, possibly way before Bill found out that Melinda no longer liked who she had become in the marriage. Is it just a coincidence that their last born just became an adult at the time of the divorce announcement? Maybe it is. As humans, we have more in common than we like to admit, especially when it comes to romance, relationships, and marriage. Every advisor, their moms and their pops are quick to point out how every marriage is different. But is that really a brand new discovery? How about trying a little other than social media rhetoric?
In the next video, we talk about the random psychologists popping up everywhere with destructive ideologies for marriages and how to avoid them. Punch all 3 buttons in the face to ensure you don't miss that one. We believe there are core reasons why every marriage in any social or economic class thrives in its journey or declines before death do us part. Bill and Melinda Gates are no exception. They may be wealthier from a money and financial standpoint, but completely drained when it comes to the ultimate 5 reasons we're about to share with you. This can be especially true when we are talking about a typical woman who is also married professionally to her husband. They work together. Most men in this situation tend to forget about the most important aspect of their lives together, the romance. Even men who do not work professionally together with their wives forget to treat their ladies like a lady. Soon enough, they start treating the wife like the homie. It's called complacency. This is the justification that many of them have for entering into a healthy debate that turned to toxic arguments, resentment, and consecutive days of malice keeping in the home. Is this divorce courageous or sad? A shame?
People's opinion on what they think of this divorce will be a function of their past experiences and not absolute truth or fact. In fact, one person said she felt sad, not because of the divorce, but from wondering how long Melinda Gates have been suffering in that marriage. She also volunteered her life story that she divorced her ex-husband after 22 years. So as you can see, that opinion reflected her own experiences. So ask yourself, why do you think it was courageous? Are you a happy divorcee, or this is just your justification of your past failure in marriage? Is this misery love company? Why do you think it's sad? Are you calling this a shame because you have a toxic belief system that staying in a marriage is a duty regardless of emotional pain?
Conclusion and main lesson. Bill Gates was the type of guy who needed a little training on his romance skills, according to Melinda, his wife, soon to be ex-wife. Sometimes a typical woman wants your offering and sacrifice for the relationship to be your idea, then she wouldn't mind helping sometimes. Your wife is not your mother, so there is only so much training she can offer you. As a husband, you should be aware of little things like this that can obviously stack up against your marriage over a 27 years period. And as a wife, you should be aware that love is always enough to carry a marriage, but common sense is a terrible guide for a marriage. So I want you to seek professional help as soon as the marriage doesn't feel right. Don't normalize it until you exhaust the marriage. In an interview, Melinda shared that patience was the key to their relationship. Does that mean she was overleading in patience? She said when he was having trouble making the decisions about getting married, it was incredibly clear that it was not about me. It was about, can I get the balance right between work and family life? So this is one of the richest humans ever in the history of humans. I am convinced that decision making is not Bill Gates' weakness in business. But what about in romance? Did he carry his habit on and off throughout the 27 years period? Did she wait till her last born became an adult before attempting to feed herself emotionally and then filing for the divorce? Or maybe completely the opposite way around, where she was the culprit who broke Bill's heart? Was there an affair or infidelity involved? Was heavy professional travel around the world separately a big reason for the death of their marriage? We're just curious. More importantly, we're all trying to figure this marriage thing out, right? It's ultimately a journey that must be nurtured to get its fruit. We do know that whatever it is a combination of a couple or all of these 5 reasons. 1. The marriage lost the purpose. 2. One partner lost attraction. 3. One partner lost the sense of self. 4. One partner lost the sense of personal purpose. 5. One partner is anticipating a greener grass on the other side. These are not crimes or faults that require blame, guilt, judgment, or condemnation at any level, but the consequences 100% of the time is the loss of marriage and divorce. Check out the video on the screen for detailed explanation on these 5 reasons.